Good morning, everybody. I am Mr. Brown, and I'm glad you guys are here today. Welcome back from our 3-day weekend, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, typography. And typography is probably one of the most important things that you are going to run into as far as forming something foundational, and it's super helpful every single day that you're going to be working in this class. So typography is super important. Let's understand a little bit about what typography is. It's really just like trying to understand fonts and print and how it all works together to make a message and make a communication that resonates with your audience. So for the most part, a lot of you've been using typography your entire life. You just didn't know it because you've just been going with the default. And what we're going to be doing in this class is exploring how we can go beyond the defaults, seeing what's out there, and seeing how we can make our presentations better. The thing is about typography is good typography helps and bad typography hurts. I guess a relatively close analogy would be to say, you know, if somebody was forced to wear a mask all the time, like, I don't know, we are now because of the pandemic, when you put the mask on, it becomes really difficult for people to understand you, and your voice, your mouth, the things you normally use to communicate are muffled. And with typography, it can be the exact same way. If you're using a bad font or a font that is not right for your type of communication, it can muddle or confuse your message. So what we're going to be focusing on is getting it right, getting some basic rules down, and growing and going from there. So the very first thing I want to talk to you guys about is typeface. Typeface. What is a typeface? Typeface is a family, a group of style. One that you've probably used a whole lot is Times New Roman on Microsoft Word, or Calibri on Microsoft Word. Also, there's Arial, there's Helvetica, Helvetica New, Avenir Next. So many different fonts. You can go and download any fonts you want from the internet. There's so many of them that are just free, and they do make your graphics, your communications more interesting. But when we talk about what is a typeface, it is the family. So for example, Helvetica is one of the most famous typefaces in the entire world. But Helvetica is a typeface. It's like saying this. It's like saying, I want to get some pizza. And when I put the word pizza on the screen right here, here's pizza. When I put the word pizza on the screen, it could mean anything. It could mean anything in the world. But when you say, I want pepperoni pizza, that makes it very specific. So pizza versus pepperoni pizza is a whole different kind of thing. Pizza could be cheese, it could be anchovies, it could be anything you can think of. But when you start getting very specific and you call it, pepperoni pizza, well, that's a very specific thing. So with typeface, your typeface may be Helvetica or Times New Roman. But when you start applying size and style like bold, italicized, those are called fonts. So a typeface is the family, Helvetica, Times New Roman, Calibri. Those are all typefaces. A font is when you have applied a size to it. So the problem is that even I use it the wrong way. I get confused all the time. Like here we have this is a font, and the reason why this is a font is because it has a size applied to it and a style. But the typeface that I used is Arial. Now I could change to a different typeface. Let's just change it to Lobster. Look how nice Lobster is. That's a typeface, but this is displayed as a font because it gets very specific. I'm gonna go back to Arial because Lobster is making me uncomfortable. So here we go. So that's the difference between typeface and font, and you need to make sure you know what that is. The second thing I want you guys to learn today is the difference between serif and sans serif. So serif versus sans serif is a huge thing that we need to talk about. Serif versus sans serif. If you look back at my hello, those are block. They're very blocky. They're just kind of, the edges are square. This is called a sans serif. Let's change it to a font that has a serif. Here's a beautiful one, Georgia. Okay, so immediately the word changes, and what we see here is that we have these little extra feet, or these little things that stick off of the H's and the L's. These are called serifs. Serifs add detail to the text, to the font. So you have a serif font and a sans serif font. Let's try something. Let's try something kind of Dora the Explorer style, or whatever your favorite kids show was. I'm gonna put a font up there and you tell me what it is, serif or sans serif. Here we go. All right, so first font I'm going to throw up here. I'm gonna throw up BAM. Oops, I forgot to highlight it. Well, here we go. Now I'm gonna throw up BAM. All right, is that serif or sans serif? If you said sans serif, you're correct. There's no feet. Very good. Awesome. Let's try it again, just to see if you guys are really as good at it as I hope you are already. Here we go. Here's the font. BAM. Serif or sans serif? It's a tough one, right? Let's look again. Serif or sans serif? Yes, of course, it's serif. It's got the little feet on there. You know what it is. So these are the two different kinds of fonts, and I'm actually going to retype this below. I'm going to leave one a serif. I'm going to change the other to a sans serif. And you can kind of see the difference when they're side by side. One has a very distinctive look. The other one is more kind of generic almost. To me, the serifs have more style. The others are just plain. So here's how we apply this. When you're going to create a title or anything that's going to be bold and blocky, titles, subheadings, anything like that, you want it to be a sans serif font. So if I go back to my document, and I'm going to title my document My Labor Day Weekend. Of course, I'm going to have to shrink this a little bit. If this is my title, however, I need to make this a sans serif font. And the reason why is these are used to grab our attention. And here we go. That's bold and it really gets your attention. My Labor Day Weekend. Now, serifs, on the other hand, serve a different purpose. Serifs are actually there to help you be able to print smaller and still have letters that are legible. So once again, going back to that clear communication, serif fonts were developed to help letters be legible even when they were small. This is very important in the days of newspaper and print, but even on your phones, it can have a huge, huge impact. So I'm gonna come back over here to my document, and I'm gonna change this to Georgia, and I'm gonna shrink this font down to a smaller size. And this is the way your format should kind of work. As you type, you can see that you have a very big, bold kind of title up here, and then the text of your body should be a serif font, and it's just makes it very much easier to read. So today, here's what you need to be walking away with. Fonts that have the little feet, those are called serifs. So here we go. Those serif versus sans. Sans actually means without. So the feet that are the fonts that have the typefaces that have the feet are serifs. Sans means without. Sans serifs are the fonts that do not have the little feet. So even this font right here is sans serif because it's just very blocky and doesn't have that. Serif fonts are great for the body or your paragraphs. Sans serifs are great for your titles, your headings, anything like that. When it comes to the names, we've got typeface, and that refers to the name of the whole family of fonts. the very generic, like Helvetica or Times New Roman. When it comes to font, that has everything to do with the style, italic, bold, whatever. It's applying style to a font family, or a typeface family. And here's the problem. We all use those two words interchangeably a lot. You will hear me say font over and over when actually what I mean is typeface. I'm not going to get on to you for saying font when you mean typeface, but I do want you to understand that if someone does say this is not the right typeface that they are talking about, you need to go back and change from Avenir Next to something completely different. So this is just kind of our introduction into typography. There's an assignment for you to do today that talks, I want you to use your text knowledge, your typography knowledge, to create a document that's going to tell me about your Labor Day weekend. This is going to do two things for us. It's going to get you paying attention to details. Did I say two? It's going to do three things for us. It's going to get you paying attention to details. It's going to get you using and adjusting your fonts so that you are using the correct serif or sans serif, or you are making sure that the sizes are good, etc., etc. It's also going to give you an opportunity to write and create and communicate, and that's what this class is all about. So check out your assignment, and we will check back in tomorrow and learn more about typography, how it's used, and we're going to be creating more things with letters in print. Hope you guys have a great day. My name is Mr. Brown, and I will see you all tomorrow.